The problem many of us have, I'm including myself in that, is on a daily basis, I forget that I am a third of the reality that I experience. Off the muscle, I am 1/3 of this reality construct. I'm a part of it. I'm a participant. That's what's beautiful. That's what's beautiful about a holographic construct, because you can be a third of the construct and it doesn't affect the arithmetic. Every single one of us can be a third of the construct, which shows us that we are existing within a personal universe. Does it coalesce? Yes. Does it overlap mathematically? Yes, we've seen evidence of that. Does it create problems for the simulacrum sometimes? Of course it does. Because when a lot of people are living very spiritual lives, they're co-creators, and they're using the simulacrum as it was supposed to be used, a beautiful construct by which we can build circumstances and build our lives. We can change the fundamentals of our existence within this construct. If a lot of people are doing that, then it's going to create some power issues. It's going to create power failures. It's going to create times where many of those errants were all basically believing in the same thing. So the construct itself, in order to save energy, because it obeys all the laws of physics that our world is basically predicated off of. Not because we're in a heliocentric universe, but because that's what the mathematical protocols show us. Pi and phi and curvature equations, entropy, they're all there. So is the law of diminishing returns. So the law of conservation of energy. These are real laws, and they apply to the holography as well, because the holography isn't something that has endless amounts of power. If it did, there wouldn't be resets. We wouldn't find evidence of former holographies that have been cut off. We wouldn't find these parts, out of place artifacts that don't make sense. We wouldn't find cities that are fully intact, buried in mud without human skeletons. We wouldn't find these things, but we do. So because we have found the evidence, because there's hundreds of researchers, maybe thousands all over the world, putting out fantastic material, and all the weird things that are inexplicable, cannot be explained, have been found. These are fossils from former holographies, timelines that were ceased for whatever reason. Maybe it was by AIX. Maybe some of them were by the simulacrum themselves. Maybe they were ceased because every single occupant in that area of the holography went somewhere else. Maybe they learned something and they ascended. They were no longer needed on that plane of holography, so they were gone. Therefore, that section was edited out. And then the overlap is later, centuries later, because the hologram is based on we're on a timeline. There's no doubt. That's where all these chronologies come from. But it's highly manipulated, except for one standard bearer, the Phoenix. Like I said, this is not a Phoenix video, but Phoenix is the keeper of the calendar. That's why it doesn't matter what your calendar is or what year you think it is on whatever calendar. All we have to do is keep up with each 138-year visitation. And when we do that, we can basically construct the entire history of the world as it unfolded according to the evidence and chronologies that have been passed down to us, which are highly synthetic, which is what I show in Archaics, that you can take a lot of ancient records and put them all together, and they basically say the exact same thing for the exact same time periods. Doesn't matter if you believe that all the libraries of the world have been rewritten. It doesn't matter if you believe that all knowledge has been lost, because we have answers for that. In a hologram, information is never lost. It just takes on different forms. It's all about perspective, like a kaleidoscope. A kaleidoscope, you actually move the field and everything changes. But in a hologram, all you do is move the observer just a little bit and everything else can be seen from that vantage point. But if that person moves a little, if the observer moves just a little bit else, sees a whole nother universe. In a hologram, there's going to be hundreds of billions of facets, and you're only going to see the reality of the facets that are pointing directly at you. That means that information is reflective. We live in a reflective medium. That means that as co-creators, we are projecting the very world that we inhabit, and that's deep. We are basically constructing on a daily basis by what we do the day before. We are predicating what we're going to do the following day. This is how we are co-creators. This is how we basically are the result of what we are and what we've been doing. We can change